We are going to take you inside the story of the 3 young Americans who just today received France's highest honor. These young men fought, tackled, and hogtied a heavily armed gunman on a crowded train, even though they themselves were unarmed. And now we're learning about another American, a college professor, who also leapt into action. Today, ABC's David Wright retraced the journey of that fateful train.
Tonight, 2 of the American heroes arrived in Germany to visit a military hospital. First stop on their journey home after this incredible ordeal. They are the toast of France, celebrated today for their valor and their humanity after wrestling a gunman to the ground on a moving train. But that incident also serves as a grim reminder of the dangers of modern life. As one of the men who shared the Legion of Honor today, Chris Norman, put it,
one way or another, we are going to be facing this kind of problem quite a few times in the future. And, I would invite you all to think about what do I do in that situation.
Today we retraced the journey that tested these men boarding Thales 9364. Among Friday's passengers, 3 Americans on vacation, childhood friends from Sacramento. Airman First Class Spencer Stone, Army National Guard Specialist Alex Scarlatos, and college student Anthony Sadler. They happened to be in carriage number 12 because the Wi-Fi was bad in the car where they were sitting before. The 3 of them were traveling on this high-speed train bound for Paris Friday evening, half asleep, when they suddenly heard a gunshot. For most of the passengers in carriage number 12, that noise was the first sign they were in harm's way. The gunshot came from the far end of the carriage. The gunman emerged from the bathroom here shirtless and strapped with an AK-47. Christina Coons, a Brooklyn social worker, had the reaction most of us would have.
When I heard the gunshot, I immediately dove under my seat, and I had already had the tray table down. I lifted it up a bit to get under my seat, and then I pulled it back down so that I had something else over my head besides my hands, which I was literally kind of doing this.
And before you judge her, know that Coons is just 4'11", and at age 29 was on her very first trip overseas.
I literally saw my life flash before my eyes. The moment that the gunshots occurred and I saw a man bloody, fall to the floor, I thought to myself, I may die today. Very real thought. And for some reason, that's why I was texting my friend. I thought, somebody has to know what's going on with me in case that happens.
She sent him photos of the action as it unfolded. A blood-spattered duffel bag, a passenger down. Another American, a college professor named Mark Mugalian, was among the first to confront the gunman. Mugalian managed to grab the AK-47, which had jammed almost immediately. He turned to protect his wife, not realizing the gunman also had a Luger pistol. Mugalian got shot in the back, the bullet piercing his lung and neck. That's when the 3 friends sprang into action.
Alec just hit me on the shoulder to say, let's go, and ran down, tackled him. We hit the ground. Alec came up and grabbed the gun out of his hand while I put him in a chokehold.
A British passenger jumped to help Stone hold him down.
It seemed like he just kept pulling more weapons left and right, pulled out a handgun. Alec took that, took out a box cutter, started jabbing at me with that.
Airman Stone almost lost his thumb to that box cutter. The gunman stabbing him in the neck, too.
It all happened very quickly, but almost immediately after I went under, what I had seen was a man bleeding profusely through on his neck, as if I assumed he was shot in the neck since I heard a gunshot. And he had this duffel bag in his hand that he dropped in the seat adjacent to me.
In fact, the gunman was face down on the floor, unconscious and hogtied with a conductor's red necktie, his arsenal of weapons on the seat beside him.
Spencer, I gather that after you were injured, you rendered first aid to one of the passengers who was injured. Can you tell me what you were able to do for him?
I just went over, saw that he was squirting blood out of the left or right side of his neck. And I was going to use my shirt at first, but I realized that wouldn't have worked. So I just stuck 2 of my fingers in the hole, found what I thought to be the artery, pushed down, and the bleeding stopped.
His quick actions may well have saved Mark Mugalian's life.
Well, I feel our training mostly kicked in after this assailant was already subdued, frankly, when it came to medical care and things like that.
French authorities have now identified the gunman using a DNA swab as 25-year-old Ayoub El Kazani, born in Morocco. France had him on a security watch list as of February 2014, after Spanish authorities told them he had ties to Islamic extremists. Officials believe he may have traveled to Syria this year, hoping to become a foreign fighter there. El Kazani is now being held without charge under France's equivalent of the Patriot Act. But a lawyer who met with him insists he isn't a terrorist. She claims he found the gun in a Brussels park and planned only to rob the train and shoot his way out through a window.
The guy had a lot of ammo. I mean, his intentions were pretty clear.
It doesn't take 8 magazines to rob a train.
Today at the Élysée Palace, France's equivalent of the White House, a very special ceremony. There they are arriving just now, and as you can see, it's a state occasion here. The French president greeting them on the stairs. He's awarding them the Legion of Honor, France's highest medal. The three Americans wore polo shirts today, clearly on their European vacation. They didn't pack for a medal ceremony. The French president said their courage and valor are an example to all the world.
Me personally, I'm still waiting to wake up. This is all just seems like a movie scene or something.
It feels pretty crazy. I never thought I would be here in this position, so it's unreal.
I would say thank you so much. I would shake their hands and I would give them a big hug, you know, and tell them that they are heroes. Even if they don't think they're heroes, I think that they're heroes. And I think, you know, obviously they've received the highest honor in France this morning, and they deserve that.
A sentiment echoed around the world today, and an honor they will share with injured passenger Mark Mugalian as soon as he recovers from his wounds. I'm David Wright for Nightline in Paris.